Well, the past 2 weeks have been hard for family and friends of Erin Somvilai. Eric Sackett, an ex-boyfriend of Somvilai, was on trial for killing her last year. Well, a jury ruled that there was not enough evidence to convict Sackett, so they ruled not guilty. Somvilai's mental health and addiction issues were at the center of that trial. And today, we learn more about the victim. News 19's Marcus Arsvold covered the trial, and today he spoke to Erin Somvilai's best friend about the kind of person she really was.
Tara Candle says she was Somvilai's best friend. Besides the fact that she's grieving the loss of her friend, what she's struggling with right now is the fact that Erin isn't here to defend herself.
She was not what they talked about in court. Her first 35 years of her life is what, who she was. And the last 7 months should not define her. She was everything but those things.
Tara Candle met Erin Somvilai the summer before high school, and the two were immediately inseparable. Tara says there's a lot more than meets the eye to Erin. She says Erin loved to camp, garden, and spend time with her pets.
I would describe her as somebody who had a lot of love in her heart.
But things changed the summer after her senior year. Erin was in a car accident with 4 of her classmates.
She was the only survivor, and that was very hard on her every year around that date. She would really kind of go back into her shell and isolate. She struggled with depression. She had post-traumatic stress disorder.
Erin's struggles continued throughout her life, but she remained Tara's closest friend.
She would be there even if she was having a hard day. She would drop what she was doing. If she really needed to be there for you, she would be there for you. I know that if I called her and said, hey, I'm not okay, she'd come over.
The two studied nursing and helped each other through it, just like they helped each other through motherhood.
I think the biggest thing that I want her kids to remember is that their mom was a good person, that she had a caring heart.
Tara says she'll miss the memories they were supposed to make with each other, but mostly she'll just miss her friend.
It's just really hard to see a life that really had a lot of purpose left and a lot of opportunities that she had ahead of her with nursing and watching her kids grow up, and not being able to see her daughter start kindergarten, not be able to watch her children in sports.
What Tara hopes people take away from Erin's story is that sometimes people are struggling and they need a helping hand.
Allow them to know that you're there. Allow them to know that you care. You're going to be patient. You want to validate their feelings. Acknowledge that what they're going through is real and difficult, and help them know that they're not alone.
Tara says Erin's family is still struggling with the notion that they don't have closure as to what happened to their daughter. But on a positive note, she says Erin's 2 children are safe and well taken care of, and that she'll always stay in touch with them.
All right, thank you, Marcus. Another one of Tara's wishes is that people struggling with a mental illness don't feel stigmatized or made to feel as if they're overreacting. If you or someone you know needs help, call Great Rivers Helpline at 211.